want to take a second to talk to you about underdogs.
Eagles fans everywhere, this is for
Yeah.
you.
Fly was flying on the team. Touchdown, touchdown. Time to get Jalen this ring. You don't really want to start a thing. This a bird game nation, baby. It's a Philly thing. Hater, and you looking like you type trash. I'm just here calling on Philly the podcast. And we can call a man dog or watch Miles score off the handoff. Rest of the division, your man saw Jackson like Sean, hunting like Randolph. Season here, early time to do them in. Your boy Philly Fresco. Thanks for tuning in.
What is going on, you guys? It's your boy Joe Castro, aka Philly Fresco, and it has been a minute. It has been a minute. So I appreciate everybody that has been patient with me, that has stuck around. Like I said, it's been a minute. I've been sick. I've been running around. There's so many things going on. I've been trying to do at least some videos, but we back, man. We're gonna do a call-in video today. So at 7 o'clock, that is open. I just put the link in the chat room. So if you guys want to join there, definitely join on in there. Now, I did put out a video earlier, and I kind of want to talk a little bit about that before we do get into the actual, live call-in, whatever you want to call it. I know that there's a really, really spread out theory, like a spread out feeling about what Devin White is. And I just kind of want to know what people think, because I put out on my Twitter, like, is he a top 10? Is he top 15? Is he top 20? Like, where do you see a Devin White as far as it goes with NFL linebackers, starting linebackers? Because I don't know. I think that he's a good player, and I think that there is upside to a guy like him, grabbing a guy like him. But at the same time, I do see the negatives, and I don't know if a lot of people see the negatives. I just keep hearing people say he has a lot of tackles, which I feel like having a lot of tackles is indicative of playing the linebacker position. That's kind of what you're asked to do. You have a lot of big defensive tackles in the interior of that defensive line, kind of creating lanes for your linebackers to make tackles. So I don't know. I'm not getting too much into the actual tackles part of it. That coverage grade really scares me. There's just things that scare me about him. So I want to know what people think about Devin White. Obviously, we'll see what happens. But what's going on? What's going on? Josh said, "Unc, what up? I see you. What's going on, Neff? We're gonna make you an Eagles fan soon enough. What's going on, Smitty? What's going on, brother? Yeah, we're gonna switch over to Jan at 7 o'clock. It's been a minute, man. I'm so excited to go ahead and cover this draft. What's going on, B-Mo? What's going on? What's going on? How do y'all feel about Devin White? Real talk. I want to know how people feel about Devin White. Like I said, if you guys want to join the call in, definitely can hit that link right in the chat. It should be pinned. What's going on, Rakeem? What's going on, brother? Lonely B in the building. What's going on? This is all about y'all. You know, I know, like I said, I've taken 2 weeks off of this show. Unfortunately, I've taken 2 weeks, I think, off of Best of Enemies, man. I've been dead lately. But now that we back, this show is really about y'all. If y'all want to talk, whatever y'all want to talk about, we can talk about it. I'm excited about this offseason. I'm excited about this draft, man. I like having credentials is crazy. And I'm not trying to like pout out my chest. I'm not trying to brag. I'm just saying it's crazy. I'm just to be able to see it from a different angle. I'm so excited for it. Where we at? Butters, what's going on? We are in need of a linebacker, so I don't know. It's tough depending on the contract. I'm 100% right there with you. I like that name, Butters. That's funny. But I'm 100% right there with you. As long as it's not the $11 million. I've said that if we can get Tampa Bay to say we'll take on $5 million of it, right? So we pay $6 million this year, and then we say we'll extend you for like another year or two and give you like $5 million per, and next year we can revisit this depending on how you play for us. I think that's malleable. That's fair, and I think that gives a little bit of security on both sides. But I'm not giving up a high draft pick for him, and I'm definitely not going to go out there and pay him top dollar. Like I've seen some people say that he's top 5, top 10. I don't know if he's that right now. I really don't. And don't get me wrong. Like if there's a Tampa Bay Bucks fan that can tell me I'm way off base, I'm definitely all ears, because I'm just looking at the PFF grades, the numbers. I haven't watched every single game of Devin White. So I'm sure there's people that have a better, understanding of this than me. So, we'll get it popping. We'll see what happens. Howie needs to grab White. I mean, we'll see what happens. I don't know how much it's going to cost. That's my biggest thing. How much is it going to cost, right? I'll give you a 4th round pick. I said this in my video earlier. I'll give you a 4th round pick. I will give you a 4th round pick. You just got to eat a little bit of that cap money. Larry Jackson, what's going on? Says, I feel like if we get White, we are 100% getting Bijan. Why do you say that? That's an interesting take. Why do you say that? I really don't think that if I had to put a percentage on getting Bijan Robinson, and I understand, I love 500. That's my dog. Nothing but love for him. But I would put it probably like 30%. And I feel like that's kind of being generous. Like, I don't think that he's a high priority. I know that I put out that, they were open to the idea of it, but there's a lot of lip service around this time. So that could have been a little bit of it. We'll see what happens. We'll definitely see what happens. Glad you're feeling better. Yeah, I'm not at 100%. You know what I'm saying? I'm at like 70. I'm at like a strong 70, maybe 75. You know what I'm saying? But we getting there. We're definitely getting there. I like Devin White, but I wouldn't trade for him. If he's cut, then of course I would sign him. I mean, I don't know if they would cut him. That's a good question. That's a really good. Yeah, that's really interesting. That is really interesting. I don't know if they would cut him though. I don't know if they would cut him. That would prolong this situation, right? If nobody wants him in a trade, it really comes down to their asking price. If they're just saying, we're not going to pay him, this money next year, we'd rather get something than just lose him. I think a 4th round pick next year is fair. I know that he was a top 10 pick and all that stuff, but hey, that's not our problem. That's not our fault. Honest thoughts on number 10 pick. Do they play it safe or do they draft Bijan since it's our luxury pick? A lot of people have a lot of different opinions about what luxury means, right? So to me, I think that if you're sitting at 10 and you don't have any option to move back, and there's no Jalen Carter, there's no Tyree, there's just no guy that you feel 1,000% comfortable with, and you look at Bijan and you're like, he's the best guy on my board, then I say, why not? I mean, realistically, why not? But like, I don't know if they're going to really be in that situation, because I think that best player available also factors in positional value. I do feel like this is a team that will say, if they see, Tyree, I'm just throwing out names there, but if they see Tyree Wilson and say, he's just a little bit worse than Bijan as a prospect, right? But overall, we value that position way more, so he gets like a little bit of a nod, then I don't know. I think that's what their ideal is when they go into this draft. I think there is positional value put into it. So I don't think we're going to get Bijan. We will definitely see, though. We will definitely see if we get Bijan. If we do, it's going to be massive. It's going to be crazy. Philly will go wild. Would you give up our second this year for him? No, I would not give up our second this year. I wouldn't give up any picks this year, if I'm being 100% honest. And maybe that sounds messed up. Maybe that's me trying to fleece them, whatever. But like, I don't know. We're in a situation right now. We don't have a lot of picks this year. We have a lot of picks next year, and we should be getting a lot more with the I can't talk, compensatory picks, but not this year. This isn't the year that I'm giving up anything realistically for a bet, because I think that it's still a bet. You're still taking a chance on a Devin White. He hasn't proven to be that guy. So $11 million is a good amount of money, and it's not a position that we value anyway. So I don't know. I personally wouldn't give you anything from this year's draft. I would go as high as a 4 next year. That's really where I'm at right now. What's going on, Rock? What's going on, brother? Have you heard of what the tiers look like in this draft? I ear tier, the top 5 guys, first round talent tier up to only 20. There's a lot of different, how do I say this? The top 50 guys are usually pretty similar, but there's a lot of different lists. I would definitely suggest that you guys go check out Dane. I think it's Dane Bugler. I hope I'm saying his last name right, but he put out a whole draft guide. It's 300 pages. I've been reading it the past couple of days. Amazing stuff. So I definitely go check that out. I have like my kind of top 50 of who I think, deserves to be there, and we'll see what happens. But it's very fluid within that top 50. Like, I think the guys are all the same, but where they're placed, like some people have Kalijah Kancey as a top 10 guy. Some people don't even have him in their top 15. Like, that's just one example. There's a lot of fluctuation when it comes to that. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But we'll see what happens with it. We'll definitely see what happens with it. Just as long as the Cowboys draft Bijan, then I'm fine. All right, let's switch over. Shout out to Michael DeJean, Butters in the building, Rock in the building, Lonely B. Who else we got in here? I know we had Larry Jackson in the building. Shout out to BMO Careful. What's going on? Shout out to everybody in the building. But we're gonna get into the Jan side of things. Shout out to Jan, man. Shout out to Jan. I don't lost my other headphone. Hopefully this one works. All right, we're gonna switch over to Jan. So if you guys want to join the live call in, shout out to everybody in the chat, man. We already got 25 people in the chat. If you guys want to join the live call in, definitely just hit the link in the chat. Going over to the Jan side of things. Hold on, let me just get these working. Let me just get everything working. But we'll get to these comments. Because I'm glad everybody asking questions. We're gonna get to them. All right, we getting on in here. What's going on, Stu? What's going on, brother?
What's going on, Joe? What's going on with you,
I'm
bro?
chilling, man. I'm chilling. Let me just take this down, get this all seeable and everything for everybody.
Get
Right.
get everybody in.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. All right, so we going. I think Smitty was in here. Did I see Smitty?
He had there you go.
Bet Smitty in the building.
Yeah, you know the co-host here, man.
Yeah, you already know, bro. Had to be. So we in here, man.
Who
We
else
in
we
here.
got?
We're gonna talk about everything. We are going to talk about everything. I mean, look, the Eagles are in a good position. I feel like the Eagles are in a good situation. You know, we're going into this draft in a couple days. We're 16 days away now. So how are y'all feeling? How are y'all feeling about this, draft, everything that's going on, everything we're hearing? What are y'all thinking right now?
I mean, I like that Devin White situation that's popped up, man. That's a good situation. If we can restructure him and get him for a cheaper price, it'd be nice. But at 11 million, I don't know if I can do it.
Yeah, no, I feel that.
That's
Yeah,
a lot of our cap that we got left taken up.
that's I was getting ready to say, you said the right, you hit the nail on the head. We got to be able to get that at a cheaper price because that 11, that's too rich for my blood.
Yeah, be more.
I'm not, and don't get me wrong. He, you know what I'm saying, he one of them ones, he can play. I'm not saying he one of those top dogs, but for what we need in this defense, he could be one of them. He definitely an upgrade over TJ Edwards. Let's just get that out the way.
It'll be interesting to see how he plays in this team. Like, somebody brought up a good question. Be more careful. Just brought up a good question. I want to ask this because, it wasn't a question, but it was kind of a statement. He said Tampa was rumored to want to move up. If the board doesn't fall our way, I can see Howie having them throw White in with multiple picks to get number 10. That would be interesting. If they want to, shout out to my guy Brandon too, because he brought this up and he said like we would give up another pick. But if they said, all right, we want to move up to 10, here's number 19, here's a third this year or a fourth, and maybe a pick next year, or maybe not a pick next year, just White. That makes sense to me. I would do that. Movement.
And we dropping back to what, 19?
To 19. I would do something like that.
You know what? If that pick next year is their first round pick next year, then yeah, I'm all for that.
Yeah. That's what that.
But it's got to be that. But because you damn near dropping back. You dropping out of the top half of the first round for that first pick.
Facts.
You dropping from a top 10 to out of the first half. I gotta get a high pick for next round. Facts. So if it ain't a second or if it ain't at least a first or a high chance at a high second round, I'm not even entertaining.
I respect it. Yeah, I don't know if I would be open to it. It depends on what the trade is. That's my whole thing. Like it depends because it kind of goes.
Willing to give up?
It kind of goes with what Lonely B's saying right here. He's saying my question was more about the 32. Are there only 20 guys with a first round grades, blah blah blah. Like I think that's what it comes down to. I think you look at this class and realistically, how many people do you realistically say that's a top 10 pick? That's a, top 15 pick even. So if you move down to 19 and you still feel comfortable getting maybe a Lucas Van Ness around there, maybe a Bijan Robinson falls somehow there, maybe, somebody around there that you feel comfortable with, maybe the value of the position isn't where it should be in the first round, but you feel comfortable with the player or whatever it may be, but you're able to stack up some draft picks in this round. I mean, in this draft. And like you said, if you can get something, next year as well, that would be nice. And then you get a Devin White that, I don't know what Devin White's value is. That's really what it comes down to. Like, what do they really expect to get out of Devin White, who's basically on a 1-year deal, right? This is his 5th year option. $11 million is a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? $11 million is a good amount of money. So I don't know what they really expect to get out of him.
Cheat one. See if you get
like I'm looking at it like this. At this point, from Devin White, I need him basically be somebody downhill helping in the run game, and a veteran voice for Nakobe Dean and whoever else we got whoever else in the linebacker room. That's really all I'm asking for from a Devin White. Really. Be helpful in the run game and be a veteran voice for these young bucks to help them come along better. Other than that, I'm really not looking for much from Devin White.
He would go from
So Joe, what would you give up for Devin? I heard you say like a 3rd next year type deal, maybe 4th.
I would probably start the conversation with like a 5th. I would be 100% honest. I would probably start that conversation and be like, would you take a 5th? And then we would go from there. And I would probably go as high as a 4th next year. But I don't know. Maybe I'm not that high on him as other people.
I don't think they have leverage, Joe.
That's my thing. That's my thing.
3rd or 4th.
That's a great example.
If he say, okay, whatever, I'll play, then next year you losing for nothing.
That's my thing. What leverage do you have? He wants to get out, and I don't know if they feel like it's mendable, if they feel like this is more of him just trying to kind of get attention, right? Like, not to say like he's trying to be a diva or nothing, but like try to get attention from the team. Like, all right, I'm willing to move on if you guys don't extend me or something. But you look at his play, I don't know. I feel like he's been a good pass rusher. And again, I haven't watched all his film. I haven't watched all his games and everything, so I could be wrong about this. But just kind of looking at the numbers, it's like, I don't know if I feel 100% comfortable with that. Like, I don't know how much stock you put into PFF's numbers, but I don't know. It's just like looking at his coverage grades, looking at the yards.
Where's he ranked PFF?
I don't know where he's ranked, but as far as hold on, I'll bring it up. I'll actually bring up so that his rookie year was his best year as far as his grade went. It was 51.9. This is his career defensive grades by PFF. So year 1, it was 51.9, which isn't that high in the first place. But then his second year, he drops to 43.4. Then his 3rd year, he goes to 36.2. And then his final year, he's at 45.5. So this final
I ain't trying to hit none of them numbers.
I
ain't.
All right, so maybe you'll be with these numbers. So pass coverage. That's my biggest thing is that pass coverage, he's not. It doesn't look like he's good. And again, if there's a fan out there that has watched all of Tampa's games and wants to tell me I'm wrong, I'm all open ears. I want to hear it. But you look at his career. I'm just going to give you the career overall. I'm not going to go year by year with this, but overall, he's been targeted 289 times in his career. He's given up 238 receptions. That's an 82.4 reception percentage, 2,190 yards for 9.2 yards per reception. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying he's trash. I'm not saying he's trash, but you just look at the numbers. That's a little bit nerve-wracking.
Listen, that's an extra man in the box when we already got Terrell Edmonds in the box too.
That's what I'm saying.
Now we got a stacked box for.
That's what I'm saying. Why are we even looking at this guy?
Yeah, it's a move.
That's
I mean, to be fair,
crazy number.
After you told me those stats, I think it's a move on.
We need somebody that's good. We need a linebacker that's going to help in coverage and get tackled.
What, $4 million? $5 million?
to be fair, I think Devin White's gonna be better than Nicholas Morrow.
I can see
I
that.
don't.
I can agree with that. I can agree
I
with
don't
that.
know. He's a good
I
in
don't.
run
I
support.
am not.
Yeah.
I'm not a
Opposite, they're
fan
gonna
of
be
Nicholas
opposite.
Morrow at all at being a starter.
My thing
Hey
is,
Tyler,
I
to me
would
they
say
gonna
that
be
there's
opposite.
a less of a risk maybe with a Devin White. I mean, you know what you're getting from a Devin White because Nicholas Morrow obviously went through the injuries and everything. So I'll give you that. But shout out to Tyler. What's going on, Tyler? What's going on, Dev? What's going on, y'all? But
Yeah, but
I
we
agree.
also
What's up,
seeing
man?
Devin White be Robin without Batman.
That's the thing. Levante David was that dude for. I
He
mean,
was
he's that
Batman.
dude. He's that dude. So
We got no Kobe Dean. I'm just joking. I'm just
Levante
joking.
David was Batman. He was Robin, and we seen Robin without Batman when we seen Devin White out there without Levante David.
facts. Facts.
So we can't sit here and just say, "Oh, he's better than this." Or how do we know? We seen him out there by himself, and he ain't looked that good.
I have a quick question though. Just like you don't have to like kill me, but like, if we pick a linebacker like in the second round or third round, is he gonna be? Would he be better than probably Devin White? Or
That's my thing. I
No,
kind of feel like
I
you
don't think
might
so.
get if it depends
I
on who it
do.
is.
If you get Jake,
If you get like
Jake
Jack
from Iowa,
Campbell, if you get a Drew Sanders, I mean, I don't know if they would fall to the third. That's the thing. You would probably have to
Trenton
get
Simpson,
a Trenton Simpson.
the guy
He's not
Trenton
going to fall
Simpson
to
out
the
of Clemson.
third, but maybe second. You can maybe
Trent
get him in
Simpson
second.
and Drew Sanders are by far the best linebackers in that class.
Yeah,
Jack
there's some
Campbell,
good
I
ones.
could see fall. I like Dayon Henley, but he's really
good.
small. He's like what, like 240, 230?
Yeah, there's some small guys. There's some I know we don't
yeah,
like
that boy from
Cowboys
Iowa,
around
though.
here.
I'll
Hold on.
take him.
But if
I'll
you
take
look
that
at
boy from
today's
Iowa.
NFL, those smaller linebackers, free flowing, fast linebackers, side to side guys, that's more what the NFL is going for because of how it's going to a pass happy league. They need speed at the second and third level.
Well, this comes up to
See, I'm fine
go
with
ahead.
that.
No, go ahead.
I'm
Go ahead.
fine with those linebackers. I'm fine with those linebackers if we get like a run stuffer, like detail.
Jordan Davis is the run stuffer. We have
But
him.
Yeah.
like
He's a
if
pass
we can
rusher
get
at D
Jalen
tackle.
Carter, if we get like Jalen Carter,
He's a pass
just
rusher.
some way. Well, he's also a run stuffer too.
Yeah, Jalen
Yeah,
Carter.
he
Stop
is.
the run.
He
Semi,
does both.
semi. He get off the line so fast.
I mean, if
He
you
kind of
get
stand
Jalen
in there.
Carter and Jordan Davis as your D tackles, you're gonna stop the run.
I want
I kind of like Joe
Cansey.
Castro point. I
That's it.
like Cansey.
I want Cansey. I mean, Jalen Carter. Don't get me wrong. Jalen Carter is a dog. Carter is a dog. There are some knocks
But I don't
on
think
his
he'd be
game.
but like as I was saying, like if you get those like two run stuffing D tackles, I think you can be safe with like one of those smaller linebackers that are
Definitely.
like super fast. But
Definitely.
if you get like a D tackle like Javon Hargrave again, I'd rather want like a run stuffing like linebacker, maybe like Jack Campbell.
Yeah, I would love Jack Campbell. I think he's a dog shit.
My only argument against Kalijah Cansey at the NFL level is
His
this:
size.
you got them. No, it's not even his size.
His arms
It's
are
the
short.
arm
His
length.
arms are mad short.
You know what I'm saying? And that for you to actually get power on those offensive linemen, you got to get up in there.
But
And if
Brian
they get them big,
Brzee,
Yeah, but
if you got
Jordan though.
hold on. But if you got those big maulers like Landon Dickerson and Cam Jurgens and Wyalata and Dwayne Johnson that got that arm length where they get them big paws on you,
Yeah,
when they get a hold of
He's
you,
gonna be tested early, especially
you
if he
ain't
came to
doing
the
nothing.
Eagles. If he comes to the Eagles, he's getting tested early.
You ain't doing nothing.
But my thing is, I'm not gonna ask him to do that. Like realistically, I think he can add another 15, maybe 20 pounds of muscle. I do believe he'll do that probably in the first year. Maybe it takes him a year and a half or something. But I think he'll be able to do that once he gets into an NFL team. But also, I don't think that you really. He is going to be I don't even want to say a liability, but he's not going to be an anchor in the run game. I don't think that when you draft him, that's what you're asking him to be. He's going to be.
he's gonna be a pass rusher.
He's not. Yeah, he's going to be a weapon. That's what he's going to be. He's going to be a guy that you say, all right, now you're going to play at this spot. Now you're going to go to this spot. Now you're going to go to that spot.
Yeah.
And you're just going to
So he's
frustrate
gonna
the
be
hell
Luka
out of
Van
him.
Ness.
You know,
But as a guy that's a first round pick, how many downs are you playing him per
I could play him
series?
3.
Is it only 1 or
I could
2
play
downs?
him 3. I could realistically play him 3. We don't need to, but I could see him playing, 1 or 2 downs on the interior. Then I could see him playing 1 or 2 downs on the edge. He can really do both. Like, that's the thing with him. It's like having a lot of people bring up Milton Williams with his comparison, and I'm way too high on Kalijah Kancey. I want to preface everything I'm about to say with it, but Milton Williams, a lot of people compare them, and that is a great comparison. That really is, but Kalijah Kancey is just a way more productive, far better pass rusher at
He's more
this point, in
explosive.
my opinion. Like
He's
that,
more explosive.
yeah, far more
He's more
explosive.
explosive.
I feel like I feel like if you like Milton Williams, you'll love Kalijah Kancey. That's really where I'm at with it.
Like,
And it's like I like Milton.
Like, athletically, I think Milton Williams is better, but it's just the explosion of Kalijah Kancey off, like, right from, like, his get off, like, his first step and using his hands, so explosive.
Yeah, Milton Williams
Hey, I
can
got a question.
fight more at the line. I'll give him that. He fights more at the line than I think Kalijah Kancey will. Like, in the run game, I feel like the best hope you have for Kalijah Kancey is that he just sits there, that he doesn't get blown off the ball, because he is smaller and he does have shorter arms. So there is that worry. So I think, there hasn't been times that I felt like he went crazy in the run game, but you also have that added factor that explosion might get him into the backfield and cause some ruckus in the run game. So he's not completely, useless in the run game. So that's why I say I would put him all 3 downs. Like, you can utilize him. We don't need to, but you can. I think he gives you that versatility.
Hey Joe, what's the knock on Tyree Wilson? I don't see a lot of hype on him. Like, I don't see a lot of people talking about him going how they made it seem before. It seemed like he fell off.
Tyree probably will go top 10. I think Tyree will probably, if he's there at 10 for the Eagles, I would not be surprised if they grabbed him. He's all he's all projection. That's really what it comes down to. He's projection.
I think the thing with Tyree Wilson was just like the injury, because he couldn't like test, so nobody really knows like his like numbers.
And you don't really
that'd be probably like more like a reason.
And you look at it's more body type. Like, people look at his body type. He's long, like he has the perfect frame to be an NFL, edge defender. But there are ups and downs in his career. And so I think he's going to go top probably 10. I really highly doubt. I don't want to say highly. I really doubt that if the Eagles see Tyree Wilson at 10, they would be able to just say, nah, we're good. I think that's definitely.
I think there's a feeling that Tyree could slip a little bit, just because I thought Tyree Wilson was going to be a Detroit Lion, probably because of Detroit, but now they traded Okudah. Now they should probably get a corner, right?
That's going to be interesting if they go with Christian Gonzalez, Devin Witherspoon. I'm glad you bring up Okudah, though. I'm glad you bring up Okudah, because I want to bring up this comment real quick. Rakeem said Jeff Okudah just went for a 5th, and he was a 3rd overall pick. We could snag him for a 4th next year, maybe, or a 5th next. Let me stop. He said we could grab him for a 4th or a 5th. Talking about Devin White, I think that's a good comparison.
But here's the difference. The reason why Jeff Okudah just went for a 5th is Jeff Okudah had an injury. He had a major leg injury his rookie year. So everybody knew him being out there playing a position where it's basically mano a mano. With the knee injury that he just suffered, he not going to be top notch. So you ain't going to get top of the line value from in compensation for Jeff Okudah.
I don't think you would for Devin. Devin hasn't really proven anything to me. Like, he had like one good year, I think. I got to really like go do some research, because I don't want to start making some hot takes about Devin White, but I'm not giving up too much. Like, I feel like a 4th is fair. I feel like a 4th next year is fair, especially if it's like Minnesota's. If it's Minnesota's 4th next year, they might be bad. So it might be a high 4th round pick. So
Minnesota's definitely going to be bad. They're probably going to come in 3rd in their division.
Yeah, I feel like it's fair. BMO said, which I think this is very fair as well. BMO said Milton is a better run stopper, and this year will show his pass rush ability more. I think he will be a good replacement for Javon. I think that's fair to say. I think the meter is moving up on Milton Williams. I think he's a dog. I'm excited to see.
I love Milton Williams. I'm so high on him.
I'm excited to see what.
Here's the idea that I got for everybody, and I don't think everybody really thought about this. But first off, Smitty, real quick. Who's the best left tackle that we've had in the Eagles' history? that you can remember?
Left tackle.
Yeah.
Most of my football life has probably been Jason Peters.
Yeah, Jason
Okay,
Peters.
cool. No. It's cool because you're not wrong there. But
I'm
here's
not
a
really thinking
question.
about it right now either. I probably could go
But
deeper, but
no, it's not a bad answer because you're not wrong. And I'm not saying you're right or you're wrong. But does everybody remember he was, if I'm correct, a 4th-round draft pick of the Buffalo
Yeah, I think
Bills,
he
and he
was
was drafted as
undrafted.
a tight end.
Wasn't he undrafted?
Yeah, but he was a tight end when he
He was
came out of
undrafted.
college.
Yeah, he was
Did
a tight end.
anybody ever think? Did anybody ever think that if this dude Darnell Washington out of Georgia, that tight end slip, and we can draft him, that he got 3 years to sit behind Big Lane Johnson and learn to be the future right tackle?
Yeah, it depends on where he falls. I
that's
mean,
a good idea.
there's a couple. Honestly, there's a couple tight ends in this class that is like, I like
I
a
mean,
lot of
because I
these
keep
tight ends.
everybody here about talking about grabbing Skoronski at 10, and I'm like, why do they keep talking about us getting a tackle at 10? We just re-signed Lane for 3 years. We don't need a tackle. Oh, he
Well,
can be a
Skoronski,
pro guard. Guess what? Jurgens is getting ready to play that for 1 year behind why Jason Kelsey plays this last year, and then Jurgens moves over. And you can still
Skoronski was
draft somebody else in the later rounds to play tackle, to play guard. What are we talking
I want
about
to
here?
ask y'all this question because Larry Jackson came in hot.
And I really don't think Skoronski's going to make it to us. I think he's going to go to Chicago for the simple fact that in the last 2 years, Justin Fields has been sacked 91 times. That's the most in the 2 years as a starter since Andrew Luck. They need to get somebody to protect Justin Fields. I don't think Skoronski's going to make it there.
Facts. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, that would be a smart pick for them. I think they have a lot of options. I think because don't they have a first round pick too? Didn't they just trade out of the first? I
I
think they have a
think they
second
do.
first round pick this year. But
Who?
the Bears? I could be wrong about that.
No, they got one for next year, didn't they?
They got one for that. Probably that
For
makes
DJ
sense.
Moore, Carolina, because Carolina still got their pick. They at one.
They got one for next
That's
year.
true. So that makes more sense. But I want to ask this question because I hear we talk about people that don't get talked a lot about, but this guy gets talked about by like all Eagles fans. Some people want him at 10, but Larry Jackson
Here you go.
says, "Who would you pick between Nolan Smith and Kancey if they were both on the board at 30?" I'm gonna let y'all answer that first, and then I'll answer
Nolan
that.
Smith.
All right. My first opinion is I have agreed with you so far, Castro, and I will go with Kancey. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? I understand that everybody has a hype for Nolan Smith. He's gonna be a decent prospect, but I'm gonna take Kancey, man. I think he's gonna be more impactful on what we need right now.
I'm Nolan Smith.
I'm gonna have to go Kancey too, because really, if you look at it, you already got Josh Sweat, who's young, and Hassan Reddick, who's young, on the outside. So you got 2 reliable one-on-one guys on the end. You need somebody else in the middle to pair next to Jordan Davis and to be in a rotation with him and Milton Williams and Marlon Tuipulotu. So you need that other guy. So I would go with Kancey because after this year, Fletcher Cox may not be back.
I'm liking these answers. I thought I was gonna get mad, but I did hear. Was
sorry,
it Tyler?
Nolan Smith.
Tyler, you said you was gonna
Nolan
take.
Smith.
You the one I'm gonna have to fight. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Well, both of them said they'll take Nolan.
Who are you picking at 10?
Who would I take at 10?
No. He's asking for the question.
Who in that
situation? Who got
situation?
picked at 10?
That's true. That's a good point. That's a good point too. I mean, it depends on that. I would say Kalijah
we got
Kancey.
Jalen Carter, then it's Nolan Smith.
Yeah, that's facts. That's 100%.
I mean, neither's the wrong answer.
Yeah, that's a great answer.
Either answer.
I see what you're saying though, Tyler. If we pick Jalen Carter,
I don't feel it's a wrong. I don't feel like there's a wrong answer for this question. I really don't feel like there's a wrong answer for this question.
There isn't.
Stu, but Tyler twisted it up. Who did we take at 10? Can anybody give me that scenario? Then I can answer the question at a better pick.
That's true. That's very true.
Like if it's Bijan,
you saying at 10? Who do we take at 10?
Listen, this is what he's saying. Like in the scenario, if Kancey and him is sitting there, who did we take at 10 already? If they're at 30. Like if it's Bijan, then I'm going with Kancey.
Who did we already take at 10?
Yeah, if it's Carter, I got to go Nolan. But if it's Kancey, if it's Bijan, then I go Kancey.
Because
Yeah,
Damn, like
yeah.
thinking in my head.
If the only reason I'm taking Smith is because I got Carter at 10. That's the only way I'm taking Smith. It's because I got Carter at 10.
I like Nolan Smith.
If
Nolan
I'm
Smith is good. I think that he has
and
a
here
lot
and
of
here's what's
upside. He has a lot of
but then
upside.
if you think about it, it's the only thing that would make sense to do at 30 because you took Carter at 10. Now you got Carter and Davis in the middle. You got Smith rotating off the edge, and you got Dean as one of the linebackers right behind him.
Yeah.
That's 4 Georgia boys that's running together.
Okay, so this is my thinking. So if you get Nolan Smith, right, in Desai's system, he's had 2 edges on the same side at once, and he ran a stunt. So imagine Josh Sweat and Hassan Reddick on the same side doing a twist, a stunt, and then having Nolan Smith on the other side, and then just ears pinned down and just straight rush.
Yeah, that's
Goodbye.
That's crazy speed.
Goodbye.
That's
I
crazy.
almost,
I,
look,
Speed.
I almost
all I'm gonna
envision like
say
you,
is
Tyler, when I say Cansey. Cansey coming up the
all I
middle with them boys coming
can
up.
say for that lineup right there is whoever the quarterback is. I'll see you in the hospital when you wake up in the morning,
Yeah, it's
Pimpin'.
not gonna be
Back.
It's not gonna be pretty for them. It's not gonna be pretty for
When
them.
you wake up in the hospital tomorrow morning, Pimpin', I'm gonna be right there, right next to you. Be like, hey, dog, I was hoping you pulled through. I was right here praying for you
I was praying
because
for
that's the
you.
only thing I could do right then.
Hey, Tyler, I did notice that too. That's how Robert Quinn got a lot of them sacks when he had them 18 sacks. It was a lot of two rushes on the same side.
Facts. What's going on, B-Dub? What's going on, brother?
What's going on, fellas? I was trying to
I'm
catch up with
excited.
you
Good,
guys,
dog.
man.
This
Yeah, I've
What's
been
going on with you?
I've been MIA for like the last 2 weeks, man. But shout out to G and they've been patient. We back. Nobody. So we're gonna throw you right into this conversation. What would
Right in
you
the
do?
mix.
What would you do? Like if Nolan Smith and Kalijah Cansey were there at 30, who would you take? What would you feel comfortable with?
Nolan Smith or who now?
Kalijah Cansey.
Kalijah
Kalijah
from
Cansey.
Pitt.
So where's Nolan? Let me be familiar. Where's Nolan from?
Georgia.
Georgia.
And then
Defensive
number
end.
4.
Cansey
And
D tackle,
okay,
Pitt.
probably have to go with the Georgia boy.
I respect it. There ain't no wrong answer, really.
I don't think he know either one of the players.
Yeah,
so
there
it's,
is.
it's
I'm
just
gonna be honest with you. I'm not really familiar with those
yeah,
two players.
It's a toss up for him. He going with.
But I was going with
Georgia
George's familiar with his boys. You know what I'm saying, with the Kobe Dean and Jordan Davis. You know what I mean. Can't help.
Exactly.
I'm
Yeah,
just
you can.
saying.
Hey, familiarity will never help. My boy, that's a Buccaneers fan. I think he's watching. He's getting upset that I'm saying only a 4th. So he said, "Stop." Roquan, talking about the other linebacker, went for a 2nd and a 5th. So if
Roquan's a top 5 linebacker.
Yeah,
Devin
if they
White ain't no top 5
Oh no,
linebacker.
and Chicago had leverage too.
Exactly.
Chicago
If they
had him
think they
under
getting
contract
that,
at the time.
if they think they getting that,
Oh my!
I don't know, bro.
Look,
Why is it
difference. They had leverage.
that fans that's feelings is hurt because one of their favorite players is leaving, always trying to oversell that one player
Or they
to
just
another
hate him.
franchise?
Or they just hate him.
Like we, but he trying to oversell him to us like we slow or something.
Hey Stu, I think he just don't understand. That they ain't got the leverage he think they got.
They can't. They don't have any leverage in this situation. I mean, we don't have necessary leverage. Like, obviously, he wants to go somewhere else. He did tweet at. He retweeted all about the birds. Shout out to them. He retweeted their post about him coming to Philly. So maybe he wants to come to Philly. Who knows? I would be down with it. I ain't got no problem with that.
He said he want to wear.
He wanted to wear 40 or 45.
What he say? Yeah, I seen that. I'll be done with that situation.
No,
we can't pay the. Y'all got to take and let us restructure and get a deal done, and then we can move back into the organ. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not just gonna give you straight up 11.
If he could,
I need you to come in and show me you fit in this system.
Like I said, take on like 5 mil of it. If they take on like 5 mil of it, and then we just say, all right, we'll give you like another year deal on this. Like we'll extend you like a year or 2, and then give you like 5 each of those years. and then we'll revisit this if you do well. Like, I don't know. We have to make this work for us. I'm not trying to be. I don't know Devin. You know what I'm saying? I live in Tampa, so hopefully he doesn't come and try and find me. But I don't know the guy, but we got to make this work for us. I'm not really too worried about what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers think that they deserve from him. Like, I want to make sure the Eagles are getting the best end of this deal because it would be big for us. I think it would be a big pickup.
I'm telling you, it would.
I think it would be a pickup.
With all the numbers, say the numbers did work out, and you were talking earlier about how his coverage went down and whatever. I believe if he came into our system with our guys, he's going to flourish from number one.
That's the thing, yeah.
And then number two, he's still smart. He's a smart player, man. And he in sideline to sideline, the boy can tackle. That's what we need, man. And I think that could help Nakobe Dean a little bit, give him a little bit of knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Because he's still got veteran skills to give to the younger guys. So that's just my belief. And if the numbers work.
Nakobe Dean came out of college as a pretty good pass coverage guy, if I'm not mistaken. I could be making that up. So I think like the yin and yang type of thing going on in the middle of that field. I'm going to be 100% honest. I don't know much about what Sean Desai is going to bring to this team. And that's really, I think that he doesn't know what he's going to bring to this team. I don't think that this team is really fully formed, especially on defense yet. So I know he's going to be probably very multiple. So get him weapons and let him, figure it out, I guess. This will be very interesting. I think that if it works out, like you said, if all the numbers work out and everything just makes sense, this could be huge for the Eagles. The linebacking spot is somewhere that we are definitely lacking this year. So this could definitely be one of those underrated, under the radar type of moves if we're able to make everything work. So I mean, we'll see what happens. We will definitely see what happens. I don't know. BMO says Howie would definitely want to restructure his deal. Yeah, probably kind of like what Barnett did last year. I could see something like that. Devin not worth 2 picks. I'll give up a future second. I don't know if I could go that high. I don't know if I could do a future second.
Yeah, second a little steep.
I could do like
second a little steep.
Wow, yeah,
Third,
wow. Second?
I'm going 3.
Yeah, I don't even want to do a third, but I could probably talk myself
a 3. I'm solid.
What's your max?
Realistically, I want to give up next year's 4th. But if you have to go up to a third, I wouldn't be.
I said max now. Max.
If you want to go up to a third next year, I wouldn't be the maddest. But if it's third this year, I'll probably be a little bit mad because we don't got picks like that anyway.
Max, I'm giving up a 4th next year and a 7th this year.
I would do something like that. I would do something like that.
Yeah, I do that.
I would do that. Hey, if that's what I'm trying.
What about
to
you, Tyler?
I don't care.
Tyler, what you think?
For Devin White.
Yeah, what's your maximum bid offer?
So I saw a tweet earlier, and I kind of want to slap my face for it because I said a second rounder. I said pick 62, just because I don't know how much value they put into Devin White.
Yeah.
And then I said because nobody on the board at 62 is going to be better than Devin White, I think. So
what?
That was my thinking.
Devin White got talent. It's just
for a linebacker.
Yeah.
The board at 62, no linebacker in this class is going to be better than Devin White.
Yeah. Maybe not this year. But this is my thing. I can't say you're wrong. You're not wrong because
I
know what Devin
I wanted
White
to slap
is.
my face for it.
But you're not 100% wrong because we know what Devin White is. So you know what you're getting. You don't know what you're getting out of a college kid. At the end of the day, they could be great, right? It can obviously work out, but it can obviously not work out. That's definitely a risk in it too. So if Howie and them feel comfortable, because obviously they have their scouts that watch other teams, they don't just watch college kids. If scouts are saying, hey, he was just misused, bring him over here, we'll get the best out of him, we know that we could use this guy, then I feel comfortable with it. But it's got to be that situation. So you're not wrong. You're not wrong. You are taking a risk in essence in either way, to be honest, in my opinion. So I think
Joseph is on drugs.
Huh?
Joseph is on drugs.
Who?
Joseph said he would give up a future second and a 7th rounder this year. Joseph is on drugs.
I can't give up a second. I couldn't give up a second. That's just a little too high. I really couldn't do it.
Yeah, he said I'll give up a future second and a 7th this year. Bro, you on
And
drugs.
then
You better go sit in the corner somewhere.
I stick with what we got.
that's just
For
too
that.
much. A second. I mean, we have 2 seconds next year, so I get the thinking, but
I'll give
I can't do
you
it.
a second rounder 5 years from
No,
now.
I wouldn't even do that. But
Oh,
and
I
Josh
have
said
a
we
quick
got to
question.
pay Devin White. That's very true too. I don't know what his cost would be. I don't know how much people would, I don't know how much he would get. It's
I'm
going
gonna
to be
pay him, all right.
interesting.
I'm gonna pay him no mind.
It'd probably be like a top, maybe like what Tremaine Edmonds got, like at most.
Yeah, see, I'm not. I don't know if I'm willing
I'm
to
gonna
pay
pay
that.
him, all right.
I would. I don't know if I would be
I'm
willing
gonna
to pay
pay
that.
him.
I
I'm gonna
wouldn't.
pay. I'm gonna pay his ass no attention at all as he walks off this roster after the season.
That's I would do it for like a year or two. I don't know what his value really is, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that. We'll definitely see. I don't know. I
got
don't know. I really don't know what we're. It's
if
going to be interesting
Howie.
to see when that starts coming out.
So if Howie was sold on Jalen Carter, do you think he would trade up to 7
To 7, you
if he's
probably
there?
get up there probably for like a maybe second, right? Or maybe you're 30. You would have to give up. I don't know.
I'd say a third. I'd say third.
You think
If
like a
he
third
gives
round
up
pick for 3
30,
picks?
if he gives up 30 along with 10, that means he's getting a real early second round pick and something on the back end.
Oh, if you're trading
That's
10
the
and
only
30
way.
to trade up,
That's the only way
you're
he
going to
gonna give
3.
up. That's the only way he gonna give up 10 and 30 to go up. He getting something a real early second round pick, and we keeping our second round pick, and he getting something on the back end. That's the only way how we gonna do this.
I can see
Because
him
you gotta
doing it. I
think.
can see him
We
doing
got,
it. If you're
Oh yeah, no.
there,
because we got no 4th, 5th, or 6th round pick. How we not sitting on his hands for 3 rounds and doing nothing?
that's what I'm
Oh
saying.
yeah, no.
Go ahead.
If he's getting rid of 10 and 30, he's going up to 3 and getting something else a little bit. And he's drafting Will Anderson.
That would be crazy. I don't know if it would only
I
take
agree, Tyler.
10 and
Tyler, that's
30.
my agreement right
I
there,
don't know if
dog.
it would only take 10 and 30. I think that's. I don't think anybody would take that 10 and 30. I don't know. Maybe
I
they
mean,
would.
For
if they know they're
Arizona,
not going
Arizona,
nowhere,
yeah,
they
because
won't.
they're not like
because they're not getting a
desperate
quarterback.
need of Will Anderson. Because if they get to 10, they'll be able to get draft the corner, and then at 30 they can get like whatever best player available. So
They gonna need a
and then
quarterback here in a couple years anyway, because Kyler Murray
oh,
ain't
yeah,
it.
They probably will.
they're gonna look into next year. They're gonna probably like Kyler. You're still injured. Just sit out. We're gonna trade you and get Caleb Williams.
I'm gonna tell you right now, if they have a winning record come by the end of the trade deadline, they're gonna be talking next offseason about getting what they can for Kyler Murray.
Yeah, I think that relationship is going to sour
See,
pretty soon.
I agree with the term that you don't look into next year's draft for this year. But I mean, if you see Caleb Williams and Drake May and you have no quarterback, I was like, I would think otherwise.
And let's not
Because I'm not really.
let's not forget about Shador Sanders coming out of Colorado, Deion Sanders' son. That boy can play quarterback too.
Yeah, decent.
Because I'm not really sold on a lot of these quarterbacks. Because like Bryce Young's definitely the best talent, but just because of his size, there's concerns. C.J. Stroud, his ceiling's not the highest probably. Anthony Richardson's he's definitely the highest ceiling talent just because of his athleticism, his arm, and just overall build. But there's a huge risk. He is super raw.
Yeah.
Pause.
Hey, y'all want to kill me for my take real quick? I think Anthony Richardson gonna go 1.
He might.
Really?
I mean, that's not
He might.
like so stupid. That's not so stupid.
I think
Carolina
Josh Fever in the chat. I think he been smoking crack before he jumped in here because he talking about Kyler's good and Shador is mid. Yeah, okay, kid.
Kyler ain't horrible. He's like number 18 on my top 32. If I did a top 32 list, I just made that up. So
If I did
maybe
a
I'm
top
wrong.
32, if I did a top 32, Kyler Murray is 43.
I don't know if he's that bad.
Whoa.
I don't know if he's that bad. We ain't gonna just make baseless. We
I'm
got
sorry.
have some
You can't
type of
You don't get
baseball
ranked
what
on.
we're
You don't get
saying.
ranked on my top 32 just because it was an organization stupid enough to pay you. If they had to put in your contract that you got to spend so much time doing film study, and
That
you
was
supposed to
weird.
be a starter, an NFL franchise quarterback, no, you ain't getting in the 32. I'm gonna rank your back up ahead of you because
Yeah,
you ain't taking it serious.
I ain't doing all that. I think he's like in the probably. Someone said top 25. I could deal with that. I could deal with like 20 to 25 probably.
Last year I had him fringe top 10. Now I have him probably like top
I had him
16
fringe top
ish.
10. I wonder what it was. I gotta check. I gotta try and see if I still have that because I know
Here's hold on. Here's the and I want to explain this to y'all. The main reason why I say this. And Castro, B Dub, Smitty, Deb, I know y'all can feel me on this. Think of how hard black quarterbacks had to work to be in the position to be trusted to be franchise quarterbacks. Then all of a sudden, you got this arrogant little asshole
all right,
sitting
but
here
we
doing this to
gotta.
where
I still gotta
my bad,
monetize my
my bad. You
content.
got this arrogant little idiot that wants to sit here and take this position for granted, to where organization has to put a clause in your contract about film study because you don't want to take this serious and you want to actually take this for granted. Think about that.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
but
why
they
I
knew
say
who he
I
was when
don't.
he came into this because he was a
That brother
But
got plans
venture
for his
capitalist.
ass.
Like
even
he had a
still,
lot of things on his plate.
bro, you still
This
got
is the
to
first
think
time I
about
ever
that.
heard that.
You take it. You think you taking this opportunity for granted, and everything that all the work that had to be put in before you for you to be trusted to be put in this position, and you gonna do it like this
Not
to
for
where
you.
they gotta put that in your contract? Nah, bro, you don't deserve to be ranked. Even if that organization pays you,
Right.
you don't deserve to be ranked in the top 32 quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yeah, I
I
You
do
had him
think
haven't
it's
at
earned
10
embarrassing to
last
have
year.
that clause.
I had him at 10 last year. I ain't gonna cap. So I might have to redo that again. Me and James might have to redo
Don't get me wrong.
our top
I had him
32.
in the top 15. I had him in the top 15 before the season started.
Damn.
But then when that happened, and
Hey,
then you
Joe,
started to
I'm
see how he
Lonzo, so we can
performed
do it.
during the
I can
season.
join in with y'all on that.
Say again?
Cause I'm not like Stu, who I got the man at 43. I mean, I do got the man in the top 25 though.
But
God
I
damn.
don't know where I would put Kyle. That's why I'm like kind of wondering like where I would even
Mm.
put him in now. Like it would be interesting. It would be interesting.
He
Top
He's still
bottom
25
like I
half
but
of the
see.
paid
league,
like top 5.
close
That's the
to it
thing.
though.
Lonely B said it
I
perfectly.
mean,
Top
I look at it
25.
like
Hold on, hold
this:
on. Lonely B said
if
it
you
perfect.
got guys that was the last pick in the draft that came in and took it more serious than
I
you,
feel you. But Lonely B said it perfect. Top 25, but paid like top 5. Kyler's money alone is a drain on the team overall. I agree with that. That's probably what's the worst is that you're not, going out there and playing like you should. So yeah, we'll see. Luckily we ain't got to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? Carson Wentz started
Yeah, that's
stinking
what
it
I'm
up
Right.
saying.
and he was gone. So
facts,
hey, I'm cool with that.
facts. Like, I mean, if you've been given an opportunity, but you don't voluntarily want to put the work in, bro, come on now.
We'll see. Maybe he turns it around. No DeAndre Hopkins out there. He's gonna be the
All right,
star.
Yeah.
I went to the NFL. I have Kyler at 18. There we go.
Hate to see. That's what I said first. Look at that. That's what I said first. I might be right. Look at that. I'm a guru,
That's
man.
fair, I guess.
I don't even know where I'll put him. I have to really sit down and look because
I
I gotta
mean,
look
now
at
that
it
I'm
but
too.
thinking
like
about it, I'm like
to be
really.
fair, I had names like Jared Goff, Daniel Jones over him. So there, it's like debatable, like top 18.
He's not debatable.
That's a. Would you be more confident with Jared Goff or Kyler Murray?
Jared Goff in a second. Jared Goff last
Golf.
year, especially that boy
Golf,
went crazy.
Jared Goff.
I don't know if you put Jared Goff on the Cardinals
Because at least
offense,
Jared
he
Goff,
might
when he got
he
traded,
might go
he was able
3
to look
wins.
himself in the mirror and say, all right, maybe I got to put more work in to be better at what I'm supposed to be doing. And
I
he
hear you.
took it upon himself to do that.
Bro, I
I
got
don't see that.
Jared Goff, yeah, he went crazy with Detroit. I mean, that's probably accredited to Detroit's offensive staff and everything. Don't get me wrong, but hey, he went out there and balled himself out. So shout out to Jared Goff. I've talked a lot of junk about
You know,
Jared Goff.
Do you
that's
I
think he
got
balled enough
cooked.
that that's why they're not taking a quarterback?
I think he balled enough that it didn't put them in a rush. Like they're still probably not looking at him
right.
as like their franchise guy, but they're probably
But at
looking at
least
him and
the
being like,
bridge.
yeah, we could wait. We don't have to rush and go get a guy. But they might surprise a lot of people. If the quarterbacks don't go 1, 2, 3, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or something like that, or 1, 2, 3, 5, something like that. I wouldn't be surprised if they took one of the quarterbacks if they really like him. If people are really down on Bryce Young and they say, all right, hey, we'll take them at whatever. What are they at? What are they at? They're like 6, 8. What are they at?
Six. Somewhere in
They're
there.
at 6.
So yeah. So I mean,
They
they
get
could
corner.
surprise some people. They could even trade down. They might be a guy that the Eagles call up. They got a lot of options.
Ooh,
Detroit
that's a
is
nice spot right there, 6. But who we taking at 6 though?
maybe
Who trading
Tyree.
at 6?
Miles Murphy sounds like he's
Tyree
going
would
up
be there.
high on
If,
boards.
if Carter's still there, we taking
Yeah,
him. If
Carter.
Anderson there, we taking him. If not, if none of them are there by 6, I don't understand why we gonna be there.
Yeah, he'll
It
probably
wouldn't
be
be
Joe,
no
I
it
got
would be no sense in being
Yeah.
there.
There'll be no point.
Joe. I got
Unless
tricked
you're gonna
bad.
take 6. Unless you're gonna take 6 and use that to trade back further into the round out of the top 15 and try to catch somebody slipping to where he can turn into, as Lord Brunson called him, ski mask Howie, and he can fleece somebody.
Yeah.
Joe, I got tricked bad by a Lions player.
How?
I was high on DeAndre Swift. right after the game, we beat him, but like he was going off, and I got absolutely tricked. I was like, I'm sold on this dude.
Swift is nice.
Nah, he
It'd
tricked
be,
me.
His only
like
problem is injuries, man. His only problem is injuries. If he
Also,
healthy,
his vision really
no.
fell
But
off.
if he even with his vision, if he healthy, he a beast.
For real.
Larry said, Joe, the real
Damn, he
question
tricked
is
me. He
how
Being
tricked
available
me.
is the best.
hold on, Joe. Larry said, Joe, the real question is with Howie scooping almost all defense and free agency aside from Penny, do you think there's a chance of going offense with the first few picks is high? I wouldn't say it's high, but I think it's just as likely as defense. I wouldn't be shocked at all to see an offensive lineman or I would be surprised to see a running back, but at the same time, hey, it is what it is. If we take Bijan, awesome.
If
What was you gonna say?
Penny
Hey,
wasn't injury
I'm
prone,
all for Bijan, but not at 10. I would like to
Me
trade back
either.
if anything, get some
if
compensation.
My thing is, if you're
wasn't injury
if you're
prone,
saying best player available, if he's your best player available, it is what it is. I would like to trade back too. Like I would like to, I'm saying, at least get more picks before you make a decision like that. But I mean, if he's your best guy available, you feel that confident in him, and you feel like he can take you over the hump. I can't
Also
really
another reason.
disagree with him.
Also another reason, if he's picked top 10, Jalen Hurts is saying pick Bijan Robinson.
Say again.
If like Jalen Hurts says pick Bijan Robinson, Howie's gonna pick Bijan Robinson.
Maybe. I don't know if he has that much pull yet.
Yeah, hold on. Here's the thing, though, Castro.
But like,
here's the thing,
if Jalen wants to
Castro.
play with Bijan Robinson, I think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, because here's the thing, though, Castro. We all know the book on Howie Roseman and how he liked to draft, but Howie also likes to zig when everybody else zags.
We also have the roster to like
With
pick a top 10 running
this, we got 2 first-round picks, and we thought we was going to have to draft a quarterback, and we ain't got to. And now we really ain't lose much on the defensive side, and we can do both, improve the defense and the offense in one shot in the first. I don't know what the hell Howie going to do right now. I'm just as like normally I would say how we going to go somewhere in the trenches, but at the same time, Howie's known for finding depth pieces in the trenches everywhere, especially on the offensive line side, to where I'm like, Howie can wait to the second round and draft a guy like Cody Monch out of North Dakota State, and Stoutland would just work with him and so he'd be able to plug in anywhere. And how we might say, okay, what else are we going to do with these first 2 picks? I don't know.
Options is a beautiful thing. Options is a beautiful thing. Having choices is a beautiful thing. Like the Eagles, and I will say this. We're running up on the time, but I will say this: seeing Eagles fans argue about draft picks honestly warms my heart sometimes because it's like awesome because we're still thinking about football. But we got to realize, like, we got to get off this 10 and 30. Like, we got to realize that this is going to be a long draft. The Eagles are not going to sit
I don't.
pack everywhere. We're going to hold on. Let me just finish this.
Honestly,
let me just finish this. They're not going to just sit pack at every pick. We're going to get more picks this draft. So we got to figure out some stuff. That's how I'm feeling right now.
I don't think we're picking at 10. I honestly think
that's what I was saying. See, listen to me. You over here trying to talk over me, and that's exactly what I said. I literally said we ain't gonna sit back. I don't
think either we gonna move those picks and trade up to try to get Carter, or we trading back and we just picking up more picks and just gonna do it. Because if we can't get Anderson or Carter, I think we can get significant impact players later in that first round. So Howie will just trade back.
And in the past two drafts, Howie's moved up 2 spots to pick up the player that he wanted, and Jordan Davis and Devontae Smith.
True, but Devontae Smith was after he had already traded back 6 spots.
Well, I know. I'm just
clarifying.
I
like Devontae Smith, but I'm always gonna remember that draft as we should have took Micah. I'm not gonna say here a lot. I wanted Micah Parsons.
Devontae Smith was the right pick.
Devontae Smith was an amazing pick, and I love Devontae Smith. Don't get me wrong, but Micah Parsons, that's the reason. Same thing with Kalijah Kancey.
Now you're making me think.
If Kalijah Kancey goes somewhere else,
now you're making me think about having Micah Parsons on one. Now you're making me think about having Micah Parsons on one side and Hassan Reddick on the other.
Beautiful, but
I mean,
it probably would have never had to happen.
Go
ahead.
Gannon wouldn't even use him right anyway.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I don't know if Gannon would have used Michael right.
I said that draft, and this is what I'm saying. If Kalijah Kancey, this is going to be the same type of deal. If Kalijah Kancey goes somewhere else and he balls out, I'm going to be thinking about this draft as we should have got Kalijah Kancey draft. And I could be wrong about him. That's probably like my biggest fear at this point is I'm going to be 100% wrong about this kid. But I think he's that good. I think this kid is really that good. We'll see what happens. We will definitely see what happens. Micah Parsons was my favorite guy in that draft. I was pounding the table for him even when we were at 6. I was saying we should just go ahead and draft him at 6. I was telling some Cowboys fans, I forget exactly who, but I was telling some Cowboys fans about how good he was, and he wasn't just a pass rusher. He could do a little bit of everything, and nobody believed me. But now
I thought Jamar Chase was the best player in that draft.
Jamar Chase. I don't think he is the best player in that draft. I still think that Micah Parsons is better than. I think Micah Parsons is the best player in that draft easily. I think that boy is something different. I really do. Well, they were different drafts. Right? They were different drafts. What am I talking about?
But I didn't want the Giants to get Devontae. I mean, this is bad. I didn't want him going to the Cowboys, but the Giants getting Devontae, that really screwed them. You know what I'm saying? So
if we didn't get Devontae,
I love me some Devontae.
We wouldn't be having our conversation. They're just loving our wide receivers in AJ and Smitty.
We're probably not talking about Super Bowl bound if we don't have Devontae Smith, if I'm being honest.
For sure.
That man went crazy last year. His performance got so overshadowed. I mean, rightfully so. Don't get me wrong. But his performance got so overshadowed by everything the defense was doing, what Jalen Hurts was doing. Meanwhile, you have a second year player out here breaking records for the Eagles. It's just crazy what we went through last year, and what everybody individually had great years, and then team wise, obviously having an amazing year together. So last year was it was a beautiful year. Obviously, we didn't get to pop that champagne at the end of the season, but last year was nice, and it makes me excited about this year. It makes me very excited about this year coming up.
And the thing is, I'm so impressed about Devontae, though. The first game, he didn't have no catches.
Yeah.
And then look at the end of the season, man.
That's crazy.
Joe,
4 yards away from 1,200.
You know what I mean? The dude's a baller, and I like how he prepares. He reminds me of that Jalen Hurts mentality. Just work hard. And while these cats is out kicking it, they in the books.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, I love it.
Joe,
I love that, man.
I don't take them seriously, but you guys know the 33rd team?
Yeah.
That's on Twitter?
Yeah.
I saw their big board. I was pressed.
Why they had
what
people...
the heck? So their top 3 was Broderick Jones. I forgot who number 2 was. And then Will Levis at number 3 as their big board. And I was like, what is
They might
this?
be trolling. They might be trolling.
And then
This
okay,
is why I
they
don't.
did no hold on. They did comps for every player, and I looked at Jalen Hyatt. They said Devontae Smith. I'm like, no, they trolling. They
That's
trolling.
crazy. I don't
Jalen
like
Hyatt is
comps. I
nowhere
really don't
near.
like comps because then you get
But
into
like,
this stuff because I feel like people are dismissing Kalijah Kancey. I know I keep talking about him. I need to stop. But this is an example. Okay. Kalijah Kancey, you look at him, you look at Bijan Robinson is another example. I think people are completely dismissing the player because the comp is kind of unrealistic. Like people are saying, Bijan Robinson's going to be the next Barry, this guy, that guy. And that's just not fair to, say he's going to be that. But he's a great player. So I feel like comps sometimes take away like the actual attention where it should be. Like your attention should be who this guy is as a player. You know what I'm saying? And then you move
oh no,
from
I agree.
there.
But I'm just saying.
No, I get what
It
you're
was
saying
just like
too.
very
But
irresponsible.
no,
It was
I
just
think they're
irresponsible
trolling.
comp.
And
Oh
I
my
know
god,
some
damn.
people from the 33rd team follow me. So I'm sorry if I'm, being rude, but I think you're trolling. If you're not, DM me and maybe I'll make a retraction. I doubt it, but maybe I will. Who knows?
No, they trolling.
Who knows? Who knows
They
what I'll
trolling.
do? Somebody said something.
They
Talk
gotta
about
be trolling.
retraction. I want to talk about a human that needs to just be retracted from podcasting. Where did he say it?
Oh no, I found who number 2 was. It was Quentin Johnston.
That's kind of crazy. It's
Oh
probably
God,
just that has to be maybe their favorites. I don't know. That's kind of crazy. Somebody said that Dan Sileo said he would give up the 10th pick for Devin White. I think that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Oh God,
That might be the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Top 3.
The only person the only person that would have gave away the like top 10 pick was Jeffrey Simmons, but that's not even a conversation anymore.
Yeah.
After that contract,
Exactly.
hell no.
No, I agree. It's funny.
No,
I would give
Dan
up
Sileo,
the
he ain't
10th
even
pick.
trolling.
Facts. That's the sad part. I would give up the 10th pick if we can move Dan Sileo to like Miami. I would give up the 10th pick, and
he's not allowed. He's not allowed down there.
I know. Yeah, he's not allowed back in Florida. I'm in Tampa. I don't think he's allowed back out here either. We'll see what happens. But it is what it is. What it is. What it is. But yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. Fan says, "Oh, what's going on with my stream?" Eagles fan says, "Hold on.
There you go.
Where's that?" It says, "What up, Joe? I want Kancey too. Kalijah can play in a 3-4 and 4-3 scheme." I agree with that. This is guy. I might get a shirt that just says "Draft Kalijah." That's what I'm gonna do. ADW. Everybody's making draft shirts. I want to make a draft shirt. We should probably use Kansas City's blueprint and make our strength stronger. Maybe add another player on defense and add more skilled players to make our already tough offense more explosive. That's a possibility. That's definitely a possibility. That's definitely a possibility. I don't know. There's so much that we can do, but you know what? I'm gonna be out there. I'm gonna be covering it for you guys. I'm gonna make sure y'all know the news first, and I get to interview them after they, sign. So we're gonna figure this out. I can't wait. I really can't wait. It's gonna be crazy.
I don't understand how they strengthened the strength. All they did was just spread out. All they did was they took Tyreek Hill as one significant receiver, replaced him with different receivers, so they were spread out more. They didn't strengthen the strength; they just adjusted the scheme.
Mahomes is just the strength. Mahomes is their strength. I mean, that's really what it comes down
all
to.
they did was just adjust the scheme. They didn't
I mean,
strengthen
they have
anything.
some good players. They got a good running back. They got Pacheco that helped them out down the stretch. Juju was a solid number 2, but I mean, he put up good numbers. It is what it is. They added another receiver in Kadarius Toney that helped them out on special teams. So I mean, you can make an argument that they definitely strengthened that offense. They didn't have a Tyreek Hill, but sometimes it's strength by numbers. Devin White.
Eagles fan, you on drugs if you think Slay's washed.
Who said that? Where is that?
What?
Eagles fan in the chat talk about I wanted Slay gone and I wanted Henderson. I think Slay's washed. Yeah, okay, dude. Go sit down somewhere.
Man, come on, man.
See, I
people need to knock that off, man.
See, like I wouldn't have been mad. I'm happy Slay's back.
Go sit in the corner, bro. Go sit in the corner.
He's not washed though.
He's not
washed. No, he's not washed.
You might not want him.
He definitely had bad games, but everybody has bad games. I don't know what people want Darius Slay to be at this point.
I wouldn't have been upset.
And he also had dominant games.
I wouldn't have been upset. I wouldn't have been upset if he left.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
But
We would have had
I
to
wouldn't.
figure it
I
out.
He's not
wouldn't have been
washed.
upset,
He's not washed.
but
He's not washed.
I wouldn't have been upset, but I would have been a little nervous about what was going to be coming behind him because we ain't got no experienced guys behind him.
Yeah.
So what
we
else?
draft the corner.
We got like
we would draft the
4,000
corner. We would
corners
get
now, though. So we'll see.
You can, like I said, you said draft one. I said we didn't have no experienced ones behind him.
Yeah, no, we don't. I mean, we got like 4,000 different freaking quarterbacks on this roster right now. We'll see what happens there, man. We'll definitely see what happens there. Everybody say
It's funny how people like bring up the conversation of should the Eagles draft corner at 10 now? It's like, bro, this was a conversation like 2 months ago or like a month ago.
I don't know why it was now. You know, it is what it is. It's a slow news cycle period. You know, you gotta figure something out to say to keep people going. I think that we're open to anything. There's no telling what we can do, and I think that that's a deadly weapon going into this draft because if people call us up, they don't know if we love our spot. They don't know if we hate our spot. They might think that we have 5 guys we want to take at that spot, and they're going to have to really, make it, a great deal. So we still hold all the chips as it goes with these draft picks. So I'm excited, man. I know I keep saying it, but it's the truth. There's so many different things the Eagles can do. There's so many different things, but we are gonna end this up.
Superstar or depth.
Exactly. Yeah, we're gonna end this up, man. Y'all want to say peace to everybody, man? Shout out to everybody in the chat. We still got 30 people on the YouTube side. Excuse me. So y'all want to say bye to everybody? You know what I'm saying?
See everyone.
He said, "See everyone."
Yo, boy, stupid.
All right, Stu and Joe and my boy Smitty.
I didn't drink as much as I usually did. I still got half the bottle.
There you go. Well, you go finish that bottle off, my dude. You enjoy that. You gonna enjoy it because we are winners. Eagles, you gotta celebrate it. Yeah. I'll be good though. Be safe. Peace.
All right, y'all.
Fly was flying on the team. Touchdown. Time to get Jalen this ring. You don't really want to start a thing. This a bird gang nation, baby. It's a Philly thing. Hater, and you looking like you type trash. I'm just here cool on Philly the podcast. And we can call a man dog or watch Miles score off the handoff. Rest of the division, your man saw Jackson like Sean, hunting like Randall. Season hit, early time to do him in. Your boy Philly Fresco.